Good evening. Welcome to Thai PBS English News Service. I am Superjohn Klinswan. The long-awaited auction of the third generation or 3G spectrum on the international standard 2.1 GHz frequency was completed today, with all 9 concessions sold for a combined value of 41.625 billion baht. About halfway through the day, the 3 bidders, namely AIS, DTAC and TrueMove, ceased bidding and waived their rights, which led to the final round. In the first round of bidding, only 6 slots reached the tender price. 1 slot was ignored until the 6th round of bidding, so this particular slot was auctioned off at the reserve price of 4.5 billion baht. The NBTC, or National Broadcasting and Telecommunications Commission, will officially announce the winner of each slot within 3 days. Of the 3 bidders, the one who offered the highest combined price for the 3 slots will have first rights to choose their preferred place in the 3G spectrum of frequencies. The combined final price was 1,225 billion baht, higher than the reserve price. The 3 bidders earlier announced they would spend a combined 130 billion baht on 3G network rollout over the next 3 years. They plan to launch 3G commercial services by mid-2013. A recent survey showed that Thai people are looking forward to having 3G on their smartphones and tablets, also finding that 40% of smartphone users have already used 3G services. However, it's expected that the 3G launch of nationwide could stimulate the growth of the mobile phone providers by between 35 and 44% next year. And while the 3G spectrum auction has become talk of the town, especially with regards to the actual bidding process transparency or lack thereof, Dr. Rungtip Chodapalai spoke with Professor Prasit Prapin Mongkon, former chairman of the National Telecommunications Commission, who explained the significance of 3G to Thailand's telecommunications development.
And because the broadband communication, according to the world's statistics, it will stimulate the economy of the country to have about 1 to 2% GDP. And this is very important because it's not only stimulation economy, but it also stimulates in a social aspect. For instance, education can be transmitted by 3G since we have high-speed data transmission. Secondly, for those who live in remote area, they can use a mobile phone not only to contact their relative in the city, but also to approach all the agricultural information and also to monitor about the natural disaster. And for the home automation, people can feel secure because after they leave the home, if they forget anything, they can switch on the mobile phone and shut down or curtain on the door, or even turn on the video camera. And if you have some old people staying at home, you can use the mobile phone to monitor, so that you can work comfortable in your office.
So that's the importance of 3G. But then there's again the issue of the auction today about the price bidding. What do you think should be the appropriate price, or you think that it's okay?
I think the price we have to justify later on after the bidding. We cannot cry out before the bidding. But I'm sure the economic value of the spectrum is fully realized by the operators. And if it were competitive bidding, the price will be little higher than the price study by the Faculty of Faculty Economics, Chulalongkorn University. That is about 6,440 million baht per 1 block of spectrum. That is 5 megahertz.
Right. So what is your most concern for this 3G bidding?
My most concern is the transparency. Before and after, there should be no collusion, and should be no money kicking back. Otherwise, it will destroy the image of the whole telecommunication circle
the NBTC
industry.
as well.
And we are the newly established organization, a model to be studied by the other members of the ASEAN countries.
A group of 67 senators are asking the Constitution Court to consider if the government's G2G rice sale of 7.32 million tons of the commodity is legal, because all international treaties must, according to law, be approved by Parliament first. Paibuniti Tawan and 66 more senators petitioned Deputy Senate Speaker Surachai Liang to pass their request for a ruling to the Constitution Court. The 67 senators allege that the government is violating the Constitution with its government-to-government or G2G rice sales currently valued over 100 billion baht. The G2G sale of rice stocks from the controversial rice pledging scheme will automatically incur a loss of 44 billion baht due to price difference between the G2G contract and the price paid by the government to farmers under the rice pledging scheme. According to Article 190 of the 2007 Constitution, the government must seek Parliament's approval before signing any international treaties. This, according to the senators, qualifies as an international treaty. Some academics filed such a case to the court before, but the case was rejected as they were not in a legal position to sue the government. And today, some 3,000 nurses protested in front of Government House to follow up on the government's promise to hire them as permanent staff. 17,000 temporary medical staff are in line for a permanent contract, while less than 4,000 nurses are guaranteed to have permanent contracts within the end of this year. Nurses and medical staff on temporary contracts who started work in 2003 and 2004 were promised permanent contracts within the last fiscal year, which ended 16 days ago. As there has been little or no movement by the Ministry of Health, the medical staff have gathered at Government House. Some of the protesters have actually been there since June to ask the Yingluck government for some progress. 17,000 temporary medical staff are in line for permanent contracts. However, the Prime Minister's Deputy Secretary and the Health Ministry's Permanent Secretary has admitted that less than 4,000 nurses are guaranteed to have permanent contracts before the end of 2012, but all 17,000 will be accepted as permanent staff within 5 years. The fact that nurses are not classified as civil servants is due to the 1999 policy of limiting the number of government permanent staff and using a special fund to financially support them. Police have arrested 11 foreigners, mostly South Americans, who have burgled houses across Bangkok and surrounding provinces. Authorities revealed that there may be as many as 40 people involved in this criminal group. Jewelry, gold necklaces, cash, and tools for breaking into houses were among evidence seized by police from 11 foreigners who have allegedly burgled dozens of houses across the capital. Police say their investigations showed that the suspects would enter Thailand legally with tourist visas before renting cars in Phuket or Pattaya and driving to houses to burgle. The 11 people arrested are of Colombian, Peruvian, Mexican, and Guatemalan nationality. Once the house owners open their gates, the robbers raid the houses and take whatever they can grab. The group claimed they have never assaulted the people they robbed. Police are now asking those who have been robbed by this group of foreigners to report to their local police station. The immigration police have now barred these people, who are now in custody, from re-entering Thailand after deportation. Police advise that this group has at least 40 members, meaning dozens more are still on the loose. And following a drugs raid, which ended with the death of a drug dealer, today police discovered 9 kilograms of heroin and almost 600,000 methamphetamine pills. 27 blocks of heroin weighing 9 kilograms and 570,000 methamphetamine pills were found by the anti-narcotics police at a house in Prawet district. One drug suspect was also arrested. He claims his sole duty was to guard the house, not to sell the narcotics. This raid followed the death of a drug dealer who was shot by police as he tried to evade arrest 2 days ago. The drugs found today are thought to be smuggled into Thailand by drug rings in the north with the help of citizens of neighboring countries. Police revealed another major drug kingpin is close to being apprehended thanks to evidence and clues collected at this scene. Weather-wise, many regions across Thailand can expect to see a marked drop in temperature tomorrow, as well as occasional thunder showers. Another moderate high-pressure area from China will extend into northern Thailand tomorrow, resulting in thunder showers accompanied by a drop in temperature over the north, the northeast, and central, as well as east of Thailand. The easterly winds will bring some moisture from the South China Sea and the Gulf of Thailand to the lower central, east, and southern parts. This will cause scattered to fairly widespread rain in isolated heavy showers. Meanwhile, heavy mist is also expected in many northern and northeastern provinces, which will limit visibility, so please do drive carefully. The futsal stadium will be ready to be handed over to FIFA on October 20th deadline, but it is waiting for the playing surface to arrive from overseas next week. However, it is up to FIFA to decide if the stadium is fit for use in the tournament. The Nong Chok Arena was slated to be the venue for the opening ceremony on November the 1st and to host matches in the first and second rounds of the 24-team tournament. Bangkok Governor Mom Ratchawong Sukhumpan Boripat and his team stepped over at the arena to inspect the stadium in Bangkok's Nong Chok district, which will be one of the venues for the November 1st through 18th Futsal World Cup. Today, he also gave 3,400 staff who constructed the arena a treat. Bangkok Governor claimed that the construction of the Bangkok Futsal Arena has gone according to schedule. The roof is nearly completed and the facilities such as seats and the scoreboard are ready to be installed. Only the playing surface remains to be installed, and this will be imported next Thursday. However, the overall appearance of the site is not yet as attractive as shown in the architect's model, but this is expected to be corrected within the next 2 days prior to the start of the competition. The FIFA team are due to arrive Bangkok on Saturday in order to inspect the Nong Chok Arena and make their final decision as to whether the stadium will be used for the tournament or not. Additionally, tomorrow, Suwat Liptaphalop, chairman of the management committee of the Futsal World Championship and Football Association, will inspect the readiness of Niminwood Tower and indoor stadium Hua Mak to host the opening ceremony on November the 1st. And the streets of Cambodia remained quiet today as the country entered a second day of mourning for its former king Norodom Sihanouk, who died in Beijing at the age of 89 yesterday, towards gathering in front of the royal palace in Phnom Penh and prayed while street cleaners and volunteers picked up leaves and garbage in preparation for the expected arrival of the king's body tomorrow.
Cambodia's current king Norodom Sihamoni and Prime Minister Hun Sen have travelled to Beijing to collect the body. Sihanouk is beloved among his former subjects and symbolises Cambodia's liberation from French colonial rule. But he's also remembered as a puppet kept by the Khmer Rouge during the 1970s reign of terror that killed almost a quarter of the Cambodian population.
Just now, we heard the lotus connecting prayers by holding the lotus flower, representing its achievements until today. And we sit here to pray to him and remember what he has done for the country, and we remember and unite to build our country after him.
Today, Chinese politicians and dignitaries paid their respects to the former Cambodian king at Beijing Hospital as preparations were being made to fly his body back to Cambodia. Among those paying their respects to the late king was Chinese Premier Wen Jiabao, who met with Cambodia's Queen Mother Norodom Mononith, King Norodom Sihamoni and Hun Sen, the Cambodian Prime Minister. Cambodian state flags flew at half-mast, and a Cambodian government spokesman said a week of official mourning would be held once the former king's body had been repatriated. A cremation ceremony will be held in 3 months, according to Buddhist tradition. Hugh Adams, Thai PBS.
And that's all the time we have for tonight's edition of Thai PBS English News Service. I'm Super John Klinswan, wishing you all a very pleasant evening. Sawasdee krap.